morning, Year 3. It's Monday the 8th of February and it's your reading lesson today. So we're starting a new week and a new reading topic. It's all linked to this chap behind me. Okay, let's go on. So we're going to be using our background knowledge to connect to an information text. We're going to be looking at a non-fiction text this week. The text we're going to be looking at is Pet Care of a Bearded Dragon. So the bearded dragon is a type of lizard, as modelled by the picture behind me. I'm a little bit scared of him being on my shoulder right now, but there we go, we'll keep going. So we're going to look through this text together. And as you can see, it's non-fiction. It tells you all about how to care for a bearded dragon should you wish to have one as a pet. And you will see from a non-fiction point of view, there are the different features that there are. There's the introduction, there could be a fact box, there are subheadings, talk about the environment for that paragraph. Two's company is another subheading, another fact box here about light, diet, and including under the diet, there's signs of a healthy lizard and the signs of calcium deficiency, something that makes the lizard poorly. And another then factual box linked to the picture of the sunbathing lizard. So if we have a look at the non-fiction features of this text here, this is a text about penguins, you can see that I've already highlighted the different features. What have we already talked about? We've talked about fact boxes, and we've talked about the introduction, and we talked about subheadings. Obviously you have a main heading as well, the main heading of the title of the text you're writing about. Your text as a non-fiction might have a diagram and therefore have labels on that diagram. It also might have pictures, and then when you have a piece of writing that links to the picture, it's called a caption. But the main bulk of the text is to inform, and therefore it has many paragraphs of information. But the information has been organised into different sections, and the subheadings help us to know what's in each section. So if we go back to the beginning of the Pet Care document, today we're going to be doing a read aloud, think aloud. We're going to have a look at the text and make it be read through and decide what does it make you think about, what does it make you ask questions about, what is it reminding you of things. So you're going to connect the text from all the things that you know about pets, maybe animals, before you read the text. All that information you're coming towards with is now going to be thought about as you're reading this text. So let's have a look at the first paragraph. Bearded dragons are reptiles. Their name comes from the spiky folds of skin around their neck, which inflate and turn black when they are excited or afraid. Okay, so as I'm looking at this, my first thoughts then are, well, okay, reptiles, I know they're types of animals. I know a little bit about reptiles. Okay, and I now get to know about the fact that they can be excited or afraid. And I think about my animal at that point, so I think about the dog, and I think about the fact that they can be excited when they want to play ball, and can be afraid of the fireworks, that's for sure. And at that point I'm going back to reptiles, and I think, well, if I think about my dog, actually my dog is a mammal. I'm considering about the fact that it talks about being excited or afraid. And it leads me to a question. So these bearded dragons are a type of lizard. I know it's a lizard because my picture here tells me it looks like a lizard. And lizards are reptiles. then is it excited or afraid? Is that the only emotions it has? So that would be my question. Is it the only emotion? Does it not feel tired? Does it, as an animal, does it feel unhappy? Is it only the skin moving when it's excited or afraid? What does it do when it's the other emotions then? That's a question that I bring to that text. It's made me think about it, and it asked myself this question in my head. So when we read a think aloud, we look at the text and we think about these things from our past experience. They originally come from the dry scrublands of Australia. Now I've been lucky enough to been to Australia many years ago now, and I can remember the dry scrublands, and I can remember it being very hot. And so they must like to be in hot places if they originally came from living in Australia. Their captive environment needs to be similar to their natural environment. Captive. You hold an animal captive. Do you remember what that means? Okay. So I've started to look at read aloud, think aloud with that first part of the text. I'm going to ask you today to continue to look at the rest. The core task then is to complete a read aloud, think aloud task by annotating the text with your thoughts as you read it, just like I did. Simplified that, then I've asked you to think about your own pet or a pet that you used to have to help you look at the lizard. For example, when you're looking at the lizard text and it talks about the diet that it has, you'd be thinking about what your animal likes to eat, because that's how you can link yourself to the text from your experiences. Reading and annotating just one, choose one paragraph. Might be the diet paragraph you choose to look at. You can choose one paragraph to do. Extension task, after you've finished your annotating, can you use some of the information, draw a labelled diagram that could be included. So when we were looking at the features of the text, we said that there was fact boxes, the introduction, the heading and subheadings. It didn't have a diagram. Had pictures, didn't have a diagram. Are you able to draw a diagram that could be added to the bearded dragon text? Okay, well this week we chose the bearded dragon because we wanted to do non-fiction. We've tried to look at it thinking about linking it to our dragon's theme, and that's as close as we got. We're not going to find a non-fiction text about dragons because they are mythological creatures, so you're not going to have the information text about them. You'll find that this week I will continue to work on the pet care of the bearded dragon, so how you look after one if you have one as a pet. Mr. Parsons' writing lesson that you're about to see today as well, he's going to look at bearded dragons and how they would be in the wild. So although we're having the same theme as the same animal, we're looking at two sides this week. The reading side of it will be linked to the pet care of the animal and how it is as a pet. And the writing lessons will be linked to the bearded dragon being out in the wild of the dry scrublands of Australia. So I hope you enjoy the information about the bearded dragons this week. And can you then, having completed your tasks, hand it in for 3:30 if possible. Thank you very much, Year 3.